Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
What's up, podcast family? Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 410. I'm Phil Graham, and today I'm going to be sharing 5 landing or sales page fixes that may help you with your Facebook ads and your conversions. So here's the thing. Ads are not always the problem. You could do everything perfect on the ad side, but if there's a problem with your landing page or your sales page, it could negatively affect your ads. And if you're messing with the ads, you might be trying to fix the wrong thing. You want to have great ads, but you also want to have great landing pages and sales pages, or else you could have issues. So today I'm going to be sharing some of the most common issues people have with their landing pages and their sales pages and how you can fix them. Before we dive into that, if you guys are looking for some one-on-one coaching and consulting, some help with your ads, or maybe you want somebody to run your ads for you so you can focus on what you want to focus on, for either one of those things, just go to my website, philgrahamdigital.com. Or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital and let's connect. Now, I want to briefly mention a big failure point that I see happening so much these days. I think a huge factor of why lots of people fail is really one word, and that is distraction. There are so many distractions, and right now, I think there's 2 big distractions. Number one is there is a cesspool of scammers and people just trying to fake it till they make it out there on social media, trying to teach things, trying to influence and grow an audience and act like they're successful when many of them are not. And they're slaving away on social media, begging for attention, begging for likes. And half the time the content is not even real. It's like from AI, they pop it into their post. And all they do all day is to build that following. And then they start getting people following them because guess what? That's what they do all day. But guess what? They don't have a business. They're not selling anything. They don't have clients. And so people start trusting the wrong kind of people. Much of the time, these are people with no experience and not very good skills, unless it's, sitting on social media all day. So unless that's what you want to do, you got to be very careful to avoid those distractions because it really is a cesspool. Be very careful. And then the second distraction is politics. I don't care what side you're on. It doesn't matter, but a lot of people get sucked into this. And my advice for you is to just tune it out as much as possible, because if you sit there and focus on it too much and engage with it too much, probably not going to do you any good as it relates to your business. So watch out. Those 2 distractions can really cause a lot of people to fail, and I don't want that to be you. So let's jump in, my friends. I want to talk about 5 issues that people have with their landing or sales pages that could cause issues and cause them to not have their ads work, even if the ad is amazing. Number 1, question for you. Is your landing page or your sales page seamless with your ad? So for example, if your ad has a hook about something in particular, does your sales page or landing page that you're sending them to from the ad mention that hook at the beginning of the page? If you're using an image or video in some of your ads, do you have the same kind of colors on your website so it looks like they're in the right place? Because many times when I see bad landing pages, they're not seamless. Like, if you click from an ad to go to a landing page or a sales page, you want to automatically feel like you're in the right spot in terms of what it says and how it looks. And many times people end up going somewhere and they're like, wait, did I click on the right thing? This looks so different. This seems different. It's not even really talking about what the ad was. That is a problem. So whatever hook or ad angle you're going with, try and have that on your landing page. Now, there are certain, circumstances where you might send somebody to a homepage where that's going to be kind of hard to do. But for a lot of your ads where you should be doing some segmented stuff, make sure that you have that hook or ad angle or at least something similar on your page, on your landing page, on your sales page. That's a big failure point, a big issue with ads not working. Your landing and sales pages not being seamless. Number 2 is credibility and trust. In fact, if you had a gun to my head and said, out of the 5, what is the one most important? This would be it. Credibility and trust. It is so important. And it just blows my mind how many landing pages and sales pages I go to that don't have it. They've just got the offer, maybe a hook, maybe an offer, and either a buy button or an opt-in box for an email, but there's nothing at all about who's providing the service or the product, why you should trust them, or anything like that. Here is something that you really need to realize and understand. Whether somebody is buying something or just giving you their email, it's not just about what they want, but it's about them believing that you're the right person to get it from. Those two are equally important. And so you don't want to just talk about your product or your service or whatever it is you're offering. You also want them to feel comfortable with you so that they feel comfortable getting it from you. They need to feel like you're credible and that they can trust you. So on your sales pages, on your landing pages, you need to have elements of credibility and trust. You should obviously have testimonials. You should have a case study or two. You should talk about your customer service and talk about, how people can contact you if there's a question or a problem. You can have an about page that you can link to that gets into more depth and detail. There's a lot of things you can do. You can also, credibility, you can also either teach something, you can educate, you can inspire, you can build, a common bond with them through empathy. Like there's a lot of things you can do. This should all be genuine, by the way. It shouldn't be a tactic. It should be real, or else they're going to see right through that. But make sure on your landing pages and sales pages, you have plenty of credibility and trust elements, because if you don't, that could cause you to fail no matter how good your ads are. Okay, number 3, another big issue for landing pages and sales pages as it relates to conversions is the page not loading fast. This is a huge issue. People have no attention span these days, as I'm sure you know. And you might think, well, it's loading in like 2 seconds. That's pretty good. Nope, that's not good. You need to get that to 1 second or even less. Because people, a lot of times, if it doesn't load instantly, are just going to click away and go on to the next thing and forget about you. So you need to make sure that your page loads fast. You could have the best product or service in the world. You could have the best ad in the world. But if you send them to a page that loads slow to where they don't even really see what's on it, and then they leave, you're screwed. Doesn't matter how good your product or service is. So make sure that your site loads fast. I would Google page speed. There's a couple good sites. GTmetrix is a good one. And then Google has some tools where you can measure your page speed. And you want to test page speed on desktop as well as on mobile and make sure it loads blazing fast. And if it doesn't, you better darn well fix it ASAP. Number 4, are your landing pages and sales pages optimized for mobile? Now, I almost left this off because it's so obvious. However, the reason I didn't leave this one off is because I still see so many pages that are not optimized for mobile. And that also blows my mind. So many people use the phone to view your ads and then go to your websites. And when it's not optimized for mobile, you are really shooting yourself in the foot. So you want to make sure that it loads fast, but it also is formatted perfectly for mobile, that you don't have things cut off, that things are not tiny to where they have to make them bigger. You want to make sure that things are functional. I've seen a lot of issues where somebody sent somebody to like a landing page that has a form on it, but the form only worked on desktop, not on mobile, yet like 85% of the traffic was on mobile. That was a recipe for failure. So you want to make sure that it not only looks perfect on mobile, that it also functions perfect, and then obviously loads fast like we talked about in number 3. And then last but certainly not least, number 5, is your landing page or sales page too busy? Are there lots of things that somebody can do? Because if it is, that's probably going to cause you to have issues and maybe even fail. So when you're offering something, whether it's a product or a service or a download or a webinar or a call or whatever the case may be, you really want to just offer that thing and that's it. If you give them too many choices, then that's a problem. I still remember seeing a landing page the other day that had 5 different things somebody could do, and they were all on the same page. That's way too many choices. Typically, if people have too many choices, they choose nothing. It's too confusing. They're just overwhelmed and they'll choose nothing. So my suggestion to you is to make sure that's not too busy. What made Google so successful? It was just a search box. Very simple. They didn't put a bunch of news on there. Make sure that when you send people to your sales pages and landing pages, it's not too busy. It's very simple. It's focused, and there's only one thing to do. They either do what you want them to do or leave. And that should really be something that could be a game changer for you. So you guys, these 5 things are super important. I highly recommend you check all your sales pages and landing pages. And as always, just a reminder, it's always important to point out that every business is unique. Results can vary. There's no guaranteed outcomes. So always keep that in mind. Episode 410 is in the books. Remember, don't fall into that distraction. That's a big cause of failure. You could do everything else right and fall into that and still fail. So be careful. You guys, if you want to get in touch, philgrahamdigital.com is the website, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital, and I will talk to you on next week's episode. Have a great week. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.